All right, hi everyone. So we've got a Grimdark Future Firefight bat rep. We're running my high elf fleets against the Hive Gangs. This is 300 points, 5 objectives. My opponent's running a pretty competitive list, a pretty hard list, and I definitely wanted to play him with this list. I'm playing. I feel a little more of a casual list. Or at least I don't know. I'm not trying to super optimize this thing. I'm kind of playing with the models that I have, but I did want to see what it's like when we're thinking about OPR as kind of a competitive game. I did want to see what a real hard competitive list would look like. So he brought Hive Gangs. And so we'll see how that goes. And this is part of the campaign for the Alston Alternative Gaming Freak. So a bit of a revenge. He actually previously he brought another pretty hard list that was something completely different. He's really good about kind of optimizing these lists, and the other one just murdered me. And so I'm gonna try this again. So all right. So this is the list I've my high elf fleets that I've run before. So I've got Elven Noble with Energy Spear and Shield Wall for an energy shield. I've got a Dire Avenger. Traded out his rifle for just an energy sword and pistol for 5 points less. So I've got 3 Banshees. One has dual mirror swords. The other two are in their standard loadouts. And then I've got 2 Scorpions in their standard loadouts. So this is his competitive list, and I would say that if you're interested in playing Firefight competitively, this is definitely a good list because it's tough. He's got a leader. He's got the Rageaholic. So this is the thing. Anyone within 12 inches gets +1 attack on the charge. He's got an energy weapon and heavy pistol. Yeah, that Rageaholic's pretty nasty. This though, that being said, this is the tough part of his. He's got these things, these attack swarms. These attack swarms are just ridiculous. I don't know how else to say it. They're quality 6 and def 6, but they're tough. So it's like the quality 6 and def 6 don't really matter because they're tough 3 and they've got ambush. So yes, they don't have a shooting attack, but they have ambush. And the big thing, the kicker, what really makes these units just absolutely bonkers is the impact 3 on them. So it's one of these like almost super optimized, and for 25 points, I think is this unit is underpointed. Yeah, the impact 3 on them, these attack swarms are just I looked around and I didn't see them in Grimdark Future, which is great because yeah, I'm glad they're just in Firefight, at least from what I understand. So he's got 2 veteran fighters and he's got 3. So he's got 9 fighters in 3 sets. They have 2 attacks apiece. They've got toxic weapons with poison. So 2 attacks apiece, 3 on the charge, 4 if they charge within 12 inches of the leader. So even though they're hitting on 5s with poison, and I know that they're working to change poison, but right now you can kind of see the reason that they do need to change poison, because with the poison, it's just, I mean, it's an absolutely absurd amount of hits that they can do. Even if they get 1 or 2 6s, they're rolling 12 attacks on the charge. So yeah, it's a very competitive list, and I'm glad he's brought it and I wanted to show this battle report because you can really see what a casual list is going to look against the competitive list. So yeah, let's go look at this. So this is my high fleet. So I've got Karandras that I'm running as my Elven Noble. I've got my 2 Scorpions, my Dire Avenger, and the 3 Banshees in the back. The one on the top right is the one with the dual mirror swords. So for him, this is his leader here. He's got then his 2 swordsmen. These are his 3 sets of gangers. So again, each of these guys are the ones with the dual hand weapons and the furious and the poisonous. This is his leader that gives the aura +1 attack. And these, so he's basically calling them mutants, which is fine. I mean, like I said, he is interested in kind of doing like optimized lists. And I think it's good. Like I always like to say, to balance a game, you have to try the extremes, right? So yeah, he's got these 3 attack swarms here. All right, the setup. So we're doing like a volcanic theme here. So yeah, we've got kind of like a lot of reactors, and so we've got kind of some molten, difficult terrain. We're also just this is another picture of it. And like we're always big about trying to follow the Grimdark rules about there should be no line of sights across the board. Grimdark Future is it's one of those games that a lot of the internal balance of the game is based off the amount of, in other words, shooting in this game is balanced by the idea that you are supposed to be playing on a lot of blocking terrain. So I think that people who complain that maybe Grimdark is shooting is too powerful, they're probably not playing with enough terrain. This is probably where you're supposed to be playing Grimdark Future, just with a lot of blocking terrain. So yeah, and then our objectives, we've got 5 of them here. You can see there's orange. We actually put dice on the objective markers later, so you can very clearly see them. But so there's 2 here towards the right and the center here. We've got another one on the left. On his left, we've got another one. And then over here is the 5th one as well. Now, when we start getting to the game, yeah, you can see we actually just go ahead and mark the objectives with dice. So here you can very clearly see the 5 objectives here. He doesn't have any real big shooting, so I go ahead and just set up. I'm not trying to hide behind terrain because I don't need to. So I set up my high elf fleets here. The plan is that I'm going to grab these 2 objectives here, and then basically meet up in the center using my speed to just try to fight for this objective here. So this is after scout. I put my 2 scorpions up. I'm thinking I need to be pretty aggressive because I'm hoping to try to do some damage early before those attack swarms really come in and ruin my day. All right, this is just his setup here. He's got 1, 2, and 3 of his just regular gangers. He's got 1 of his elite swordsmen, and this is the other elite swordsman, and his leader is actually behind this building here. So yeah, that's just another look at the objectives here. So turn 1. So I do get to go first. The first thing I do is I move up my scorpion. I've got this little nook here. So since he doesn't have Strider here, he can't charge me. So and from here, I'm able to shoot his. This is just his elite swordsman with the power sword. I do 1 wound and I stun him. He then moves up 1 of his gangers. He's just got a lot of bodies. Like when we started looking at this game, like the amount of bodies that he can bring is just. I mean, he just has an overwhelming amount of bodies. So he does bring up his 3 gangers and grab the first objective. I move up my leader, and I'm trying to thin out this squad, but I also don't want to commit just yet. So I shoot into the 3-man squad here, and I miss. He moves up his other 3-man squad here. I'm like, well, so luckily he'd kind of committed a lot of his resources. He only has his leader left, so I do bring in my scorpion. I'd love to have killed all 3, but I only get 2 of them. So he then, in turn, his leader's over here. He has fast. His leader has fast as well. So his leader had plenty of room to just come around and hit my scorpion. Does 2 wounds and stuns him. I move up my Banshee. She can't quite get to the leader, and I take a pot shot and do 1 wound on the leader. He moves up his other squad of gangers here, so just kind of coming around and centering up. And this is his also moving his other swordsman as well. So yeah, this is the so he moves up his gangers, and then I move up my Dire Avenger. He then unstuns his ganger. I then move up my Banshee and grab the last objective here. So as you can kind of see, he finished first. So so he's going to keep going first. It's another very good strategy with this list. So this is just an overview of the battlefield here. You can see I've grabbed the 2 objectives, the other Banshees here, and I'm going to try to center up and just try to hold off this objective here from. He's got a lot of units here, and I'm already down 1 of my scorpions. And it's a really good strategy that he's doing in that he keeps these 3 attack swarms in ambush. And so it actually makes him end activations quicker, even though he has a lot more models than me, and he gets to go first on turn 2. So this is just another perspective. This is one of those objectives that the dice got bumped off. Yeah, that's just another picture. Okay, so turn 2. Yep. he just brings in his 3 attack swarms here, and it's just going to charge me. You know, it's just that, yeah, these 3 attack swarms, they have everything they need, and they're it's just, yeah, they're, yeah. Anyway, so he gets to go, and yeah, he just eats one of my banshees. This is the banshee right here with the dual mirror swords. He just, yeah, he just charges them, and it's 3 automatic attacks. Like, the impact 3 on them is just ridiculous, and he just takes out a banshee. I then charge my scorpion's over here. I know I need to clear up these attack swarms, so I charge in with my scorpion, and I luckily get all 3 wounds and kill him. That by the way, this is not a guaranteed thing. With tough 3, even though these guys have a 6-up save, I get 1 impact on him, and then I have to hit with 2 out of 3, and there's still basically close to a 50% chance that he's going to save one of those saves. Luckily, like I said, so it's really pushing at like maybe a 40-something% chance that I kill one of these with a scorpion, but I do one-shot those attack swarms. He sends his 2nd attack swarm in and hits my banshee with 2 wounds and stuns her. Yeah, it's just there's not a lot I can do about it. You know, just the impact 3 on them is just really silly. So yeah. I send in my leader, and this just shows you the power of tough. I send in my leader, and I do 1 wound, but you know, he's tough. He then attacks back and does 1 wound. He rolls a 6 and gets 1 wound on my leader. These guys have AP 1, by the way, so just another little nugget for them. He moves up. He moves up his single ganger. He moves them up. I then charge my 2nd banshee into his attack swarm. So it's taken 2 of my models just to take out one of these guys. So he is stunned here. And that just shows you the other power of the attack swarm, right? These guys are only 25 points a model. So in other words, my entire 300, basically my entire army is having to focus on just killing 75 points. He still has another 200 and something points of his army that I can't even deal with, because I literally have to take out these attack swarms, because if I don't, next turn he's just going to auto impact me for 3. So, but I do manage to stun the 2nd one. He again just rushes up his 3rd gangers. You know, again, I don't have I'm having to focus all my energies just on this 75 points worth of attack swarms. He's just bringing the rest of his army up. He does gain that objective. I charge my Dire Avenger here. I'm like, well, you know, again, the Dire Avenger also couldn't charge the attack swarm back here, so I go in, I take 1 of them, and he just backs off. He sends in his leader, right? He charges his leader and knocks down stuns my Avenger. He then moves up his other models, right? So this is his 3rd squad coming in, and he's got his other swordsman coming in as well. So, you know, turn 3, I do get to go first. So the first thing I do is I have my scorpion over here. He comes around, he hits this attack swarm here. But, you know, like I said, it's not a guaranteed thing. I think he rolls pretty decently, actually, in that I impact him. And then I only get 1, and he saves. So I get 2 wounds on him, and he saves 1 of them. So yeah, this attack swarm, you know, it's just like, yeah. He then, you know, rolls a 6 with AP 1. He actually knocks down my scorpion with this. So this attack swarm now has already gotten one hit. He did roll good, but then again, he doesn't, like, this is kind of just lagniappe for him. So yeah. So he in turn just charges my he charges my leader here. And remember, these guys are, you know, my leader's got 3 wounds, but these guys are 4 attacks, right? He's in range, and he rolls some poisons. He gets like 6 hits on my leader and just kills him. I mean, these guys are just, you know, we're not even talking about the rest of his army, right? The guys who can get 4 attacks with poison on the charge. And yeah, he just blows up my leader. At this point, I'm in a pretty rough position here. I do go ahead and just charge my Banshee and finish off his attack swarm. So yeah, 2 attack swarms dead. Yeah, at this point, he sends in his other attack swarm and does 3 wounds on my, again, just the impact 3. He just does 3 wounds on my Banshee. I roll bad, but you know, he at the very least he could have just stunned that Banshee. So yeah, that Banshee's gone. He then sends in his other group, and they kill the Avenger automatically. And then I stand up my Banshee, and then he just sends in his other guy here, and he hits my Banshee again. He's got that 4 attacks apiece. He remember he's still got other models over here, and he kills my Banshee. So, and then the last thing, his leader is fast, so kind of the last move of the game, he just charges and takes out my my Scorpion. All right, turn 4. Turn 4 is nothing. I just wanted to have a little fun. I don't know. All my guys died on turn 3. So I guess technically I don't know how that works, but yeah, he just I guess stands there on turn 4. Yeah. So a 6-0 victory to the Hive Gangs. I am being a little salty, and like that's fine. You know, I don't I will say some learning points here that I think that and I'm not trying to be too negative, too much of a negative Nancy here, but you know, and this is the reason that I showed this report, just to show that, you know, I think OPR's formula still needs some work to be competitive. I think they're and I want to say this, that they are making, I know they're changing poison and they're changing impact, but I know from what I understand, they're changing impact to hit on 2s, but really the attack swarm, even if they're hitting on 2s, that's, you know, I would, you know, postulate this, and I don't think I'm being I don't think I'm using hyperbole when I say that attack swarms are broken for 25 points. I think that that's a pretty fair assessment. They're I don't understand the formula, and I'm looking into the formula more. And I'm actually going to be. It's funny, me and him, both of us are patrons, so both of us are actually, and it's very good. Both of us, like I said, when we played this game, I like that he's running these lists because he also wants to do what I want to do, which is that to see how, you know, to see where some of the flaws in the formula is. So I didn't mind. I'm glad my opponent ran a real competitive list because it revealed, you know, like it's good that people are running these really competitive lists because we get to kind of see where, you know, how really kind of where the problems are, right? And I think that attack swarms are definitely one of these problems. You know, and luckily I think that OPR is, they definitely are all about trying to encourage feedback. And so yeah, I do this with feedback in mind. So and I know that OPR is addressing some of these issues, so I don't want to like I've heard as well that they're addressing kind of what they're calling glass cannon cheap units. So, and I think I could very well see that the attack swarm is being addressed in the new changes. And so but it's like I said, it's good to play these sort of games. It's good to test the limits so that you can really see. So it is a bit of an anticlimactic that I got steamrolled, but yeah, I think that I learned a lot about here. And it's funny, me and him, we both have been thinking of ways to optimize the balance system. So both of us left this game with some ideas as well about how to implement and make the formula a little more balanced. So yeah, this is, like I said, this is about positive. This is being positive here. You know, it's yeah, it's always a little frustrating to lose, but at the same time, it's good to see that. All right, thanks for watching. You can always play against me on Universal Battles, provide feedback, and like, subscribe, comment. So thank you all so much.